One of their responses is we don't support an investigation of the Liberty now, or we don't support the international call for an investigation of the flotilla because the peace process is such a delicate state right now that it might upset that peace process. And my question to that is, what was so magical about May 31st or June 8th that Israel could commit these atrocities and that wouldn't affect the peace process?
I do know that there are Canadians that are trying to raise funds for a ship. There are Europeans that are raising funds, I believe a Swedish, Belgian, Irish combination. So, I mean, the people of the world are really taken with this. They are seeing that this is a way as citizens that we can force governments to act and react. Sometimes we get really frustrated when we go to our Congress and the Congress doesn't help us at all. But boy, I tell you, when the citizens get together and come up with creative new ways to put pressure on governments, and tragically, you know, it took the deaths of 9 people on that ship and 50 others injured, and you know and yet every single day, or virtually every day, there are Palestinians that are being killed, and one would think that over time that would be what the outrage would be about, but the galvanizing of public opinion on these ships that were going to help the Palestinians break the siege was what it actually took. So we intend to keep moving and pushing on this idea, and the theme of the next one may be opening up Gaza for the movement of people, to let people go in and out, students go in and out. You know, students in Gaza right now, they can get international scholarships, but they aren't allowed to leave Gaza. They have to get the permission of the Israeli government to leave. There are people who have not been out of Gaza for years and years and years. There are families that are outside of Gaza who've not been able to come into Gaza. In fact, we had a man on our ship who had not seen his mother in 18 years. He had finally gotten the appropriate residency papers so that he could travel. He was traveling to see his mother in the hospital. 1 hour after we left Crete, while we were still within telephone communication, he got a text message saying his mother had died. So the stories of how these families have been apart for so long. So the next theme is going to be, let's get the people, help the people to get in and out of Gaza.
Drop up out the helicopters, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. They're using like the S-13 commandos. It's this like big dramatic like raid on Entebbe thing. Do you think the intent there maybe was that they wanted to put a bunch of people behind bars to have like some show trials and thereby attempt to demonize the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement?
The boycott, divestment, sanctions movement that is really starting to have an effect on Israel. I mean, they're starting to push back, saying to other countries, you know, you ought to control those pesky students at the University of Texas who are telling the Board of Trustees that they should divest from Israeli companies because of what Israel's doing, or the University of California that's having that where students are actually moving forward, or people are going to the malls and challenging big companies that are taking Ahava, Dead Sea products that are used into beauty products and are selling them as Israeli products when they're really taking resources from Palestinian areas, illegally taking those things. They are having an effect. Well, I think probably more what happened at 4:30 in the morning is the theory that indeed they were thinking that many of the men on board the ship, the Marmara, might be at morning prayers, and they might be able to catch them at prayer time. Yeah, that might be one of them. Because indeed, if you were intent on stopping the ships, if your choice was that you would stop them non-violently, peacefully, there are ways to do that. Stopping ships in the middle of the night in the darkness is dangerous not only for the passengers but also for the commandos. I mean, doing those type of operations at night is very dangerous. If you wanted to stop the ships, there were ways you could do it, like the way they stopped our ship, pulling another bigger ship in front of us. That's the way you stop it. If they wanted to say to the flotilla, we understand what your purpose was. You're trying to break the siege. However, we are not going to allow your ships to come into this security area, and we're going to keep you out. And we have a picket line, and we're not going to let you come through it. And you can stay there as long as you want, till your water runs out, till your food runs out, to whatever. But I'm sorry, we can't let you do this. That was a choice. Instead, they chose to violently attack each one of those 6 ships. And I guess with that, Joe, we should thank this wonderful audience from Austin, Texas. Thank you.